Welcome, my peace, my peoples. Please like, comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Be greatly appreciated from the bottom of my heart, my peace, my peoples. So let's talk about the Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 10, episode 6. Yes, let's talk. We start off with Nene continue to yell at Portia, talking about Portia, you deserve to be disciplined. You don't deserve to be here for what you did to Candy, girl. You don't deserve to be here. Portia said, then why am I here? Why are you fighting Candy's battles? Candy got her own mouth. She can speak for herself. So Portia is just like, she's just like shocked, and so she tells her, they tell each other to shut the F up. You shut up, you shut the F up. No, you shut the F up. Nene says that you shouldn't even be here, Portia. You shouldn't be here at all. And then Portia says you shouldn't be here either, B word. And then Nene goes, well, you shouldn't be here at all, Portia, because if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be sitting at this table like you are sitting at this table. And so then that's when Portia said, then why am I sitting here then? Why am I sitting here then? I was like, these girls are too much. But, Orange County, like Real Housewives of Orange County started in 2006, and ATL Real Housewives started in 2008. But I guess Nene's saying that she opened the door for the black ATL to start of Real Housewives of Atlanta, and by her being entertaining and bringing her friends on and helping with producing, I guess getting people onto the show at the time really made it entertaining. And I guess Nene's giving herself kudos that she kept the show going. Her and the other ladies kept the show going. So that's probably why she's saying Portia should be there or whatever, But plus she was like, why am I still sitting here? Why am I still sitting here? And Sheree is shady. Sheree said that, Nene better bobby pin that ponytail up. She better carry some extra bobby pins. I was like, oh no, they're really going there with each other. And so, Nene's walking away, and, Marlo has her hand around Nene's mouth, trying to get her out the restaurant. And, Portia is upset. She's mad. And then, it's just like crazy. And so then, they finally get the ladies finally get Nene to go up to her room or whatever with the other ladies, and everybody leaves the table, leave Portia sitting there with Sheree, and Sheree feels like, hey, I can't leave because this is my trip, and I basically started the argument. I didn't know that, seeing the elephant in the room or whatever, trying to get, Portia and Nene to talk was gonna be like this, so she got to sit there with them and not go upstairs. But that's all right. Sheree's collecting the bone so she can go report it later, because she damn sure will report it later. And so the ladies, they go upstairs and they talk about, Portia lying, saying that she lies all the time. Nene said she lies each and every day on her show. She's always lying on her show. And Nene's also saying, we good, the door is closed. The door is closed. She's just trying to reenact what Portia said to her. Portia's down there crying to Sheree, and was just like, everybody left with her. Like, how am I not supposed to feel like all these ladies are against me? Nene's older than me, and Nene has done everybody wrong that was sitting at this table, so her hands are not clean in the situation. And yeah, Nene got into it with everybody on the cast before, people that are there, people are not there. But I guess right now, Portia, is your turn, especially with that rumor that could have defamed and could have destroyed Candy's life or whatever, you know what I'm saying, and taking, and being naive and listening to, Phaedra or whatever. So the ladies, they go upstairs, and as they're going upstairs, Nene's like, Candy had your back. Candy had your back, Portia. Candy had your back. She was fighting for you. She was helping you. She had your back, and you did her wrong. She don't deserve that. That's so wrong how you did her and all this other stuff. So they get upstairs to the room, and Candy says, well, I can't believe we left the food down there. And then also Candy's like, yo, I'm happy that I didn't have to argue with Portia, that somebody else sees it. You know what I mean? And so then Nene talks about Portia owning up to her own thing, owning up to what she says, and all this other stuff. And she talks about Portia talking about, I need anger management. No, you need anger management. Marlo's sitting there looking, and Cynthia doesn't seem like she's amused. She doesn't like this conversation. I guess it seems like Cynthia's not liking any of the shade that Nene's throwing towards anybody. She's not feeling Nene's attitude or whatever, because I guess, she went the same thing happened between her and Nene or whatever. But like Portia said, like you tried to get me fired, but she didn't try to get her fired because she didn't call nobody. That's what Nene says. Only thing she said is she was asked a question by a caller when she was on Watch What's Happening live, and she just said that she think they both need to go because they have no class and the show has gone down. And Portia was on her show, and basically she didn't really diss Nene, but she said that, you know, her coming after her, she's supposed to be sister, she don't know where it's coming from, this place or whatever. And she said, you know, some people heard or whatever, but whatever Portia said, it wasn't bad, it wasn't dirty or whatever. So anyways, Kandi feels like, you know, Portia should own up to it. She should have just said, hey, listen, you know, I really wasn't trying to diss you, you know, on this nation or whatever. But, you know, if I did offend you, I'm sorry, whatever, let's move forward, blah, 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 and all this other good stuff. But, you know, Portia feels like she doesn't have to kiss Nene's ass at all, and she ain't right now. So it just seems like, you know, all the ladies are kind of in agreement with Nene and her antics and the way that she acts towards Portia, that they feel like it's well deserved or whatever. But it seems like Cynthia's not feeling the same way. But Cynthia does say that Portia, just own up to it, just say you're sorry or whatever, just move forward. And like, damn, Portia, you're having like bad relationships with everybody. You got into it with, you know, Kenya, you got into it with Nene, you got into it with Kandi. So like, something's going on in your friendships, you know, Portia. So Marlo was like, you know, Portia just a liar, basically. She doesn't own up to what she does or whatever. And, you know, Nene was like, yeah, I was supposed to be her big sister or whatever. But then Portia's downstairs talking about, if she was supposed to be my big sister, why would she be yelling at me? Why would she try to get me fired? Why would she do this? And this woman's almost 40. This woman is old enough to know better, basically. That's what, you know, Portia feels. And so, you know, Marlo was like, you know, Portia's just young or whatever. And so that's when Nene was like, she ain't young. She's almost 40 years old. Stop saying that she's almost young. Stop saying it, because that's not true. The woman's almost 40-something years old or whatever. I was like, why these guys got to go there? And, you know, Nene's like, yeah, whatever. And so Portia was like, you know, she's supposed to be my big sister, but she's out here on a smearing campaign dissing me or whatever. I was just like, Kandi just feels that, you know, Portia should own up to the shade that she threw on this nation or whatever. And Kandi was like, I'm not Kandi, but Kenya was like, you know, she's always talking about people. She's always doing this. She's always doing that. And, you know, Nene helped her with her divorce lawyer. Nene helped her with this. You know, Kandi was her friend. And that's when Nene was like, yeah, I helped her with her lawyer, whatever. Well, your lawyer didn't do too much because she didn't get nothing from Cordell Stewart. But her wedding dress, I don't even know if she kept the ring or not. So anyways, it just seems like they're arguing over stuff that is petty, that it ain't that big of a deal. But, you know, we need TV, we need the drama or whatever. But it seems like that argument got Portia together with everybody, because the next day, you know, Portia went around apologizing. She apologized to Kenya in so many different words and apologized for her part in that Phaedra mess. And then also she apologizes to Kandi. So something happened with that argument. Something made her realize something, or maybe she realized, I got to do what I got to do to stay on the show. And so you got to see that Portia, she's sticking in there. She's rolling with them blows. She's rolling with them punches. No matter how they come, she ain't trying to move. She's glued to, you know, Housewives of Atlanta. She's trying to hold that peach. She ain't trying to let that peach go. So anyways, the girls are going to all plan a trip. You know, they're going on a trip to, you know, take a tour of San Francisco, and then they're going to go to, you know, the vineyard, to, you know, to a wine gallery or wine place or whatever. And so anyways, you know, we get, you know, Portia, she calls her mom and tells her mom all about the ex drama and all that other stuff going on. Her mom was like, you know, she's an old woman. She shouldn't be doing that. She should know better. She should not want to talk to nobody's daughter like that, blasing the third, and all that other good stuff. And so the ladies get ready to go. And basically, you know, Sheree thinks all the ladies should split up into separate groups because of what happened at the dinner table, whatever. So basically, you know, Sheree was telling, you know, she was telling Cynthia, and she was telling, you know, Marlo that we should probably split up and go to separate groups and things like that. I was just like, damn. And so Nene, before they get ready to go, she's in her confessional. She was like, yo, my name, you can call me Cardi B, because if I don't speak to you, that means I don't F with you. You know what I'm saying? I was like, Nene, you're going all the way there. You're just going back and forth with this. You're going to milk this or whatever. But you know what? See, this episode, we didn't need Kim. So Portia's pulling herself together or whatever, and she's just gonna try to get it together or whatever, because she knows that these ladies are in agreement with the other ladies, and basically she got to work her way back into the group, or she's gonna have to deal with the blows that she's gonna have to take from her behavior last year, and she ain't running. And so anyways, you know, all the ladies, they get up on this trolley or whatever, and all the other good stuff, they get on this trolley. And then, you know, Kenya, she talks about her grandmother and got the videotape of her grandmother passing, the videotape they're going to use for her grandmother's funeral, and she's going to leave the trip early because she got to go. Then Portia, she starts to cry and everything, and she leaves because she thinks about her uncle passing away, whether that's true or not. And so nobody wants to go over there and comfort, you know, Portia, but Cynthia, she goes over there and comfort, you know, Portia, and you know, Nene's looking at her like, yeah, look at her. And everybody's just looking at Cynthia, but Cynthia said, you know what, I gotta do something. Like, so Cynthia goes over there and talks to her. It was like, yo, the same thing happened between me and Nene. We talked about it first. I apologized and I told her what she did was wrong or whatever, and they moved forward, because she said Nene tried to do the same thing to me, so don't worry about it, you can get through whatever. So Cynthia just feels like Cynthia needs to roll with the punches and get through with that. It'll be all right, because she did it. She went through it. That's why it seems like that Cynthia is not feeling Nene's behavior, her talking and gossiping about people or mistreating people, because she was on the end of that rope before. And, you know, and this doesn't seem like Cynthia be looking at Nene like she don't like her at all. She be looking at her like, yo. She be just looking at her like, ugh. And so I think, you know, somebody said, oh, you know, Cynthia went over there to go talk to Portia, and they call her flip-flop. I don't know which one said that. And so then Marlo said that she wanted to hang out with Sheree and Portia, and she wanted to talk to Portia, whatever, but she didn't end up doing that or whatever. And I thought Cynthia was going to hang out with Portia, but she didn't end up doing that either. So, you know, I guess they're going to split up. So it's Marlo, Sheree, and Portia. They're hanging out. Then it's Kenya, Candy, and Cynthia hanging out, and Nene. And so basically that's it, really. So they split up. So Marlo, she's over there with Portia to get some info or just see what's going on the other side, because she's Nene's eyes and ears this season so far and right now. And we know Kenya ain't messing with Portia because of what she said on Wendy Williams. So anyway, Candy asks Nene about Sheree's husband, like, yo, you said you knew him, what's up with him? And so you know, Nene was like, yo, he's a con artist. And she was like, what you mean? Yeah, he's a con artist. He's a thief. He stole money from big companies. He stole about $4 million. He's out here in these streets stealing. And then I think, you know, Candy had said that, you know, Sheree better be careful before he con her out of Chateau Sheree. And then that's when Kenya said, well, the house ain't in her name, so he can't con her out of it first. He got to get the house in her name. I was like, yo, you guys are going in. You're going in. And Kenya said that Kenya was like, the house ain't even in her name. And so then Sheree is talking to, you know, Portia, was like telling Portia and, you know, Marlo that, hey, yo, we need to do something nice for Kenya because of what she's going through. So they're going to plan a wedding and all that other good stuff for her. And so, yo, they're planning that wedding for her is just shade. So when, you know, when Kenya was like, yo, the show's basically about me, now they're planning a fake wedding. We've been talking about nothing but Kenya's and her fake supposed to be husband, whether she's married to Mark or not. But this is a story plot today, and the way that this is set up, this production was all in parts in that, because they didn't just get that room, them people there, and get that cake there and all that other stuff just in one day. So that was all set up to do that to Kenya, to see how she was going to react. But Kenya took it like a G and she smiled. So anyways, so they're talking about, you know, they're talking about planning, you know, the party or whatever for, you know, Kenya. And so then, you know, Marlo, she calls up Nene and was like, hey, Nene, we're going to plan a wedding for, you know, Kenya, whatever, bloods. And they was like, where you going to get a husband at? And where you going to get her husband at or something? And so then Marlo goes, well, she's used to having a fake man, written a man, paying for a man. It won't be nothing new. And then Nene starts to laugh or whatever. And so, you know, Marlo was like, well, should we tell Cynthia? And she was like, nah, don't tell Cynthia, because Cynthia will run back and tell her, because Cynthia's her bodyguard. She's the fighter for Kenya, and she might spoil it. I was like, yo, you guys are going in. So it's so crazy. So what they're gonna do is get a a fake Mark doll. Where they get that out with the question mark on it? They got a tuxedo for him and all this other good stuff. They are so bad. They are so bad. So they're gonna plan that wedding, so they all get back to the hotel, whatever. So, but before then, Sheree and Portia and Marlo, they pick out stuff they can use for the wedding. They make a fake wedding thing in China and Chinese or whatever. It's supposed to be a fake marriage license. They get a headpiece for Cynthia to put on because she's gonna be the best friend, because since she didn't get invited to her real wedding, that's what the lady's been saying or whatever. So they got some flowers or whatever. They're getting ready for this wedding. It's funny at the same time and all that other good stuff. And so they're getting ready for the weddings. Candy's gonna be the singer. Nene is going to be the pastor of the wedding, or the preacher of the wedding. And then they got the fake groom. They're setting up the room or whatever. And so Portia and what's her name? Kenya and Cynthia upstairs getting ready, getting dressed. They look just alike. They're dressed alike. They got the same curls, same black dress, look good. And so they asked Candy, you think Kenya's gonna get mad or whatever? And Candy was like, nah, she ain't gonna get mad, because she did the same thing last year when she planned a divorce party. So they got everything. So they got everything together, getting it going. And Kenya takes it like a G. She was like, yo, this is so stupid that I'm smiling. And so she takes it and she was like, yeah, it's all good. She rose with the flow. She was like, hey, if you want to, Kenya's like, yo, if you want to make this scene about me, well, then it will be about me. I will put on this headpiece. I will carry these flowers. And I will walk down this aisle, because girl, I is married now. I was like, yo. Kenya was like, whatever, you guys ain't shaming me. And so it is what it is. And then Portia drops the groom, and Candy was like, she only had one job, and that was to hold the groom. So she couldn't. So anyways, they getting ready to go to the vineyard or whatever. They take the bus there. Everything's all good. And then now they're gonna be getting on a train or whatever. And so Candy throws shade at Portia and was like, yo, I'm so glad that Portia knows that it's a train and not the Underground Railroad, because when Portia made that big mistake a couple of years back. So anyways, everybody sit down, but Portia ends up at the table with Marlo and Candy and Kenya. And Portia sitting there anyways, but they talk, they get along, because Portia apologized to Candy, so everything's all good. They're talking, having a conversation. So it seems like it's cool that they are talking, actually having a conversation, because Candy was like, yo, I can't sit here and ignore her the whole time while I'm sitting here right across from me. So anyways, they talk. Kenya's talking to her as well. And they're having a conversation. So it's cool. It looks good. So at the other table with Nene, Cynthia, and Marlo, and the rest of the ladies, they're sitting at the other table. And so then that's when they started talk about Sheree's husband, and they asked Sheree's husband why he's locked up or whatever, what he do, whatever. And Nene was like, he's a con artist. And then so that's when Sheree was like, no, he did fraud. He did like business fraud or stocks and bonds. He did wire fraud or whatever. That's why he's in jail. And so Nene was like, yeah, he's gonna be back in jail. So it seems like Sheree got the same type of relationship that Yandy from Loving Hip Hop New York has. Okay. And so she was like, yeah, we had, Sheree was like, yo, we was doing good, whatever, things happen, he's locked up and blah blah blah. And Nene was like, she is a damn shame. Nene's rolling the eyes. She's being all types of judgmental that Sheree's with this guy and calling him her man. He did security fraud. He did this. He did that. And they're like, She's like, all right, cool then. So then Portia, Kenya talk, because they call Candy over there to their table. And, Portia lets Kenya know that she apologized to she apologized to Candy, and she's apologizing for some of the things that she did, basically. And that's when Kenya was like, well, then you should understand that you really got good friends, and they try to give you a good advice, and you should listen to them, because you don't hear what they be saying to you. They be telling you some real stuff, basically. So then they have their conversation. It seems like for so far right now, everything is going well. So I'm like, whoa, okay. And So anyways, these ladies, they get to the vineyard or whatever. They got this guy. He comes out, and what's her name? Kenya's so funny. She said to the owner of the vineyard, she was like, "Hi, here are the three single ladies." She put Sheree, she put Marlo, and she put Portia. She said, "Here they go, right here," or whatever. And so then the guy at the vineyard that owns the vineyard, he tries to feed them grapes. Marlo sucked the grape like it ain't nobody's business, and made a little shape out of it. So that's when Sheree got shady and was like, "Well, so you guys wonder why Marlo have all them bags and name brands? Because when we saw Marlo's room, her room was lit. Her room was on fire with the way she had her outfit set up." And so anyways, they're flirting around with this man, trying to get with him or whatever. Portia opens a wine bottle in one try with this butcher knife, with this baby machete or whatever. So everything's all good. The guy ends up telling the ladies that he's married. They kind of get upset. He says, "Yo, I want you guys to stump some grapes," or whatever. And so all the ladies stump grapes except for Nene and Candy, because they rich bitches and they didn't come here to work, and they ain't doing no slave work, because it reminded me a little slavery back in the day when they had a pool size or whatever. Or like, yo, we ain't stumping no grapes. We ain't no workers. We ain't your workers. You ain't employing in us. And so Candy was like, "Nah, I don't want all that juice splashing up on me." So the ladies, they do their thing. They smash the grapes up and all this other good stuff. And so Nene was like, "Nah, I ain't getting in there. You fools is crazy." It was too funny. And so she was like, "Yo," and I was like, "Yo, they really did get in there and stump them grapes with them nice dresses on." But hopefully grapes don't leave stains or whatever. And so anyways, it was funny how they was talking about the wine. The owner of the wine was like, after they get ready to eat dinner, he was like, "Yo, this is John Legend wine," or whatever, his wine. And then so Nene gets in her little thing. She was like, "I'm not gonna be asking anybody who I can blow to get a case of John Legend wine. It ain't that good." Throwing shots. It's like they was being all types of shady with each other. And so I was like, "Damn, you guys are going here with each other." So anyways, Kenya, she's leaving, whatever. So they get at the table and they start talking about, Kenya, and asking like, "Do you believe Kenya is really," Marlo said, "If you really believe Kenya's married, raise your hand." And only person that raised their hand was Candy. And so then, Cynthia get upset. She don't want to hear about it. She don't want this negativity. So she leaves the table. Nene goes after her and was like, "Yo, you should be upset too as well, because she didn't invite you. People want to know. They want to know why that they can't meet him or whatever." And then the ladies at the table are like, "Yo, now that she finally got a real man, won't she bring him around and say she's married now? Like, why didn't she invite you to her wedding, Cynthia, if you're all friends like that?" And so Cynthia leaves the table. She's upset. She's mad because she don't want to be bothered in the negativity. And so Nene was like, "Girl, relax, chill out. It's just questions that we all want to know, why we can't meet him and why she didn't invite you. You guys are so close," and all this other stuff. But Nene did say before that if Kenya asked Cynthia to jump, how she would say how high. And so basically Nene's just being jealous because Cynthia has her back. And I think Cynthia just wants to have her back regardless if she knows or not. She's just gonna ride with, "Okay, you don't want me to meet your husband. It's cool," because Cynthia was trying to stick up for Kenya, was like, "Yo, she probably she's been teased and taunted about not having a real man, and this is probably why she hasn't bring him around." It was like, well, then she should, now that he's real, bring him around or whatever. So Cynthia feels like she's not going to win that battle, so she leaves. Nene talks and to come back to the table. So Cynthia just owns up and say, "Hey, listen, I don't know why she didn't invite me. I don't know why I wasn't there. I don't know why she don't want me to meet him. I felt hurt about the situation too. I don't really understand. I don't have an answer for you guys, so leave me the hell alone." And so now it seems like the heat has been taken off of Portia ever since they did, the Kenya's wedding. So Portia should thank Kenya situation because, it took the heat off of her, and Nene is not coming after her or whatever. So it seems like, okay, we'll see what happens. Well, that dinner table was too much. They was going in. They was really talking about Cynthia being a flip-flopper and her kissing all up under Cynthia's butt. But Candy throws up, was like, "Yo, I would like to have a friendship like that. Somebody got my back when I leave and not talk bad about me. That's the type of friendship I want." And that's real. Like, she's being real about it. Whatever people might think about, Cynthia and Kenya's wedding and her not inviting Cynthia, but it seems like they are genuinely friends. But Kenya wants to keep that part of her life, closed off. And so even what a lady said was like, she's living a double life. So anyways, what do you guys think about the situation? I don't know, but I know Kenya's milking this situation because she got them planning a wedding to the end of the episode talking about her husband. So yeah, she's doing some work. She's doing good by not bringing him on the show because they wouldn't have this much to gossip about. So anyways, peace. I'm out. One love.